Let's talk to Braggy. Well, that's a pretty cool outfit. I wonder what that glamour is. That's a pretty cool glamour. Alright, let's go talk to Braggy. Oh, look who's back from the dead. Alright, it was a grim sight. Your companions looked fair and ready to drop when they brought you in, so I offered to help a hand. Couldn't bear to see them struggle, so. And you, my friend, I feared you had one foot in the grave. Cold and lifeless you were, like a corpse that was somehow still breathing. Yeah, I have no idea why I was still breathing. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Good question, Braggy. Thank you. Then they told me some evil bastard went and snatched our poor exarch away in the midst of the chaos. Wicked White, what is this world coming to? But not moaning never solved the thing, did it? Nay, it's times like these that we Crystarium folk entall and do what needs to be done. Trade of Ilmore is back on the table. We'd best bet make use of those resources to fortify the city against the Aethers, or whatever misery the fates deem to throw at us. Speaking of misery, Chesamil was worried sick about you. Healer wringing her hands is not a sight you ever wish to see, let me tell you. I can talk to Chesamil over there. Good. How do I get there? Oh, from up here, right? Okay. Oh, sweetie, you're alive. No one's been allowed to see you. Even spiritual surgeons were forbidden from making visits. Rena was kind enough to tell me you were showing symptoms similar to Aether corruption, so I suppose there was little any of us could have done for you in any case. As for your companions, they've been rushing hither and yon, seeking a cure to your condition. However, to see their faces grown ever more haggard every time they pass through the Crystarium. I shall let them know you're awake, and when they come to see you, sweetie, please do convince them to rest a bit. You won't be helping anyone if they are all collapse of exhaustion. Aye, and our Moran has been a little better, I'm afraid. He hasn't left the cabinet, too busy with his nose buried in one of the dusty tomes. I'll go speak with the Moran then. Moran. Confounded, it says the same thing as last. Maybe I should approach a problem from a different perspective. So this is truly you, and not some figment of my imagination. Maybe. Oh, but this is wonderful. It would seem our prayers have been answered. Feeling otherwise helpless, I've been scouring shelves for the wisdom to explain this most worrisome conundrum. Why, with all the White Wardens defeated, has the light returned to obscure the sky? I must have pored over 100 tomes, but no definitive conclusion seems forthcoming, so my question I would pose to Ixar. Thus, I do feel his absence all the more keenly. Now that you are awake, however, I am hopeful the search of our stolen steward might begin in earnest. Catus, meanwhile, leads the Crystalline mean in preparation for battle. I thought against what foe. We are as yet uncertain. Why not pay her a visit? I expect seeing you upright would be much welcome relief. Speak with Catalyst. Alright, we can do that. Catalyst. Alive and well, I see. You gave us all the proper fight, you know that? Not that day's gone, by that I haven't heard folk worrying what's going to become of you and your Exarch. Anyway, I'm glad you've recovered enough to stand. You're not planning on striking out straight away, are you? I was hoping to have a better look at your equipment. If we'd been able to provide you with better weapons or sturdier helms, then maybe you would have one day and the Ozark would still be here. Such we're keeping busy consulting each other on new forging techniques and designs and the like. If you could stand still for a moment, I'd like to assess the gear you were trying to improve. Aye, well, that's some fine work, I must admit. It wouldn't be impossible to make something better, but we need to experiment with different patterns and materials, and I'm not sure we have that kind of time. That sounds like a challenge that he would enjoy. Well, yeah. Greetings, Glenard. The Master of the Stairs is running his own errands, is he? My servers just want to track the web too hard. Perfect. Insert this predicament of yours. I won't agree with you there. What good does this talent do us if we can't bloody find him? No one's been seen hide nor hair of Grindelwald since he wandered off some years ago. You know what he's like once he latches into an idea. He probably choices himself some forgotten cave. He absorbed his latest creation. That does make it difficult. Still, if that eccentric is someone we're destined to meet, I wager he'll show up soon. My time at the bar, Minnie's the tale I've heard told of strangely fated encounters. Fair enough. But before you do that, you're actually the reason I came over here in the first place. Really? I'd also suggest partaking of my stock until you're probably well. But if you're passing near the stairs, then I've a regular who's eager to meet you. Who is it? I'd like to meet him. Best bit getting back. Just because the world's coming apart, as it seems, doesn't mean we have to follow suit, does it? You can't forget the heart upon which this city was founded, or the Exarch might not have much of a home to return to. Play it. Atlas. Atlas look at you with concerned eye. Are you alright? I think a return to your sickbed might be in order. Oh, or you might consider resting a while atop the watchtower next to a curry? This damn little sky doesn't make for the most soothing scenery, but the Exarch often like to stand there and feel the wind on his face. The moment you feel the wind on your face, alright? That's the Tenos Rookery. Let's do that. Actually, can I just walk there?
The people of this city have spirit, I'll give them that. They've not lost the will to fight. I can imagine how torn you must feel, looking at that sky. Knowing what it means to everyone. And that you're responsible.
Yeah, it's all such a mess.
Aye. An all too familiar one. Here you stand alone, expecting no one else to bear the burden for you. You're in a corner, and there doesn't seem to be any obvious way out. But that doesn't mean it's over. However hopeless it seems, you haven't lost yet. I remember looking up at the sky like this before. Being caught up in a strange kind of calm. It was after we realized we were responsible for the flood. When we resolved to journey to the source by taking our own lives. One last sacrifice, one last fight, one last failure. And then the Oracle appeared and, well, you know the rest. There were times in the years and decades that followed when I wondered if we might not have been better off just letting the rejoining happen. That we'd made one last mistake. But seeing that giant Talos stir to life cured me of any doubts I still had. Always we took the burden of fighting upon ourselves. That's what heroes do, isn't it? So we never had the chance to see anything like that. Our people coming together as one. To think that their hope still burned so bright. That they were still so eager to live, they would lift up their fellows, one on top of the other, till they reached the sky. No. We made the right decision. And I can finally feel proud of the part we played in helping this world survive. Well, come on then. As I thought. What happened between us was no coincidence. My story may be finished, but the fates have gifted me a minor role in yours. I suspected as much the moment I realized you could hear me. But it's hard not to doubt yourself when you're the man who caused the flood. I was afraid to do anything more than watch for fear of making things even worse. But no longer. After all, the path I once walked is now yours to finish. For what it's worth, I cast my lot with yours. If you need a push, I'll be right there behind you. If you lose control, I'll do my best to stop you. So, let us be about it, hero.
Oh, I was worried you were up here all alone, brooding and fretting and wallowing in your woes. But look at you, grinning at nothing like a pollen-drunk pixie. Look at what you've done to your ether. It's a mess. And you have cracks running all through that pretty soul of yours. My poor little sapling. Whatever am I to do with you? Shall I yield up my throne? You could claim it. Cut ties with the mortal world? Hide away in the castle? It won't fix the problem, but would it really matter? If any pesky heroes come calling with steel and magic, all of Il Meg will rise up in your defense. My crown and scepter are yours, if you want them.
Thanks, Fuel, but no thanks.
What? Don't give me that look. Of course I knew before I asked that you'd never ever heed such a wicked suggestion. And besides, what would become of my precious and ephemeral flower? Dear beloved sapling, you are lost, confused, and have precious little time to gather your wits. Your kind is always so preoccupied with what lies ahead, and so we muddle your vision with fog and glamour. But such trickery is easy to see through. Stand very, very still. Think not of where you need to go, but where you are right now at this moment, at this time, in this place. Our cairn of crystal. From shadowed hood he watched you go, his ruby eyes with warmth aglow. See yourself as he saw you, and that shall be the clearest clue. You stand in his garden, dear sapling. Ask his flowers what they know, and you will surely find an answer. But what will you do with it, I wonder? I'll be watching and waiting. Waiting and watching.
Was there something else you needed? You come for the results of my research in this person light. I'm afraid there's little to tell you. Reading the excerpt. Well, I need a documentation of relay. Well, I know of history, if that is what interests you. Less than a decade had passed since the coming of the flood, when the Crystal Tower first flashed into existence. Its summoner, the Exarch himself, became known to the refugees in Lakeland soon thereafter. He welcomed all who sought out the Spire, Pedaliacals, who had lost their homes to Vorbotites fleeing their ruined kingdom, and together they found the city, which would become the Crystarium. Soon taught to call him king, for he refused to share his name, but the summoner did not seem himself worthy of royal address. Thus did the people consider his scintillating skin so like to the tower, he had summoned and bestowed upon him the title of Crystal Exarch. As for his true name, well, it would seem that this is a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Well, we know his name. We met him around Reborn at the Crystal Tower. He's Grey Hatia. We know who he is, and we're probably the only one who do. Rookery. Oh, I did not expect to see you on your feet so soon. Surely you have not come in search of an emerald. But I know the Crystal Exarch. I'm happy to share, but I fear there will be no surprises in relations. As any in the city would tell you, he is a man of wisdom and compassion, and many untold secrets. But one can doubt his generosity. When the Crystarium was constructed, he even allowed folk to plunder the tower for resources. He has imposed no restriction upon us, but one. No one except the Exarch is permitted to dwell within the spire. Many seasons past, a comrade of mine was bold enough to ask the reason why. The Exarch merely smiled and said, because one day the Crystal Tower may vanish as suddenly as it arrived. Yes, it is good to see you awake and alert, my friend. Oh, you're not writing the Exarch's memoirs, are you? I'm not sure how much I can tell you, considering we avoid asking too many questions. Unspoken rule and all. If anyone has fresh insight to share, then that'll be Captain Lena. She lost her parents to an Aether attack not long after she was born, and the Exarch saw her to her upbringing. Outward appearance to the side. Those two are like grandfather and granddaughter. Imagine the news of his predicament hit her doubly hard. Not that our proud captain would ever let it show. If you do decide to talk to Lena, he'll be at the usual spot at the Ancestor Gate. Yeah, we'll go talk to Lena, I guess. Ancestor. Oh yeah, outside. Yeah. Hello, Lena. I was told that you had awoken. Yes, I awoke somehow. I'm surprised now. If only the Exarch was returned us. He was taken by his rival of yours, was he not? Your companions mentioned they had an idea of where to find him. And saw a person when they asked for patience. I did not understand your hesitation. I only saw that you had fallen. Only then I realized that I had no business rushing ahead. Even so, the delay has been no less agonizing. In the moments before he left to join you in Colusia, Exart entrusted me with a key. It opens the door in the ocular to a chamber known as the Umbilicus. This room is the heart of the tower, in which only the Exart himself is permitted to enter. He bid me allow none into the tower once he had departed. Only in the event that an army of Aethers descended upon the city was I to access the Umbilicus and open the defensive barrier. Never before had he left with such instructions, but the battle of Voltri loomed near, and at the time I accepted the key without much thought. Since then, however, that moment is all that occupies my mind. When I recalled the look on his face, he knew that some terrible fate awaited him. Tell me, I need to know what he feared. What battle you and your companions are truly fighting. Forgive me, I trust the Exile and I should not be voicing these doubts when he is not here to respond to them personally. But you have to come with a question of your own, have you not? See, I'm not the only one who burns for answers. I must come to open the tower's heart. Though we do not face an invasion of Aethers, I suspect the city will be in far more danger if you do not gain the knowledge you seek. Come, meet me in the ocular, and I will unlock the door within. I just had to expect you.
I have unlocked the door to the Umbilicus. You are free to enter. Once you have what you require, I'll see it sealed once more. Until then, I will remain without.
A moment to collect my thoughts, I prithee. Thy true name is Grahatia, then? By thy claims, thou too art a native of the Source, though from an age beyond our own, when the 8th umbral calamity hath visited devastation upon our star. Thou hast, by subtle means, reached across the boundaries of time and space to unsow the seeds of catastrophe, ere its creeping vines drag our champion unto an early grave.
In essence, yes. A difficult story to swallow, I am sure.
I doubt not the veracity of thy words, not the account of thy coming, nor that of the fated calamity. Yet my mind straineth still to apprehend the enormity of this tale. Wouldst thou favor me with a gradual unfolding of its chapters?
Certainly. But where to begin? I should start with those great minds who survived the calamity. Sid Garland being perhaps the greatest. In hopes of staying the unending tides of war, he and his fellows pursued all manner of possible solutions. One of these was rooted in a theory which unified several fundamental principles discovered over the course of the Warrior of Light's adventures. It proposed a method by which one could enter the River of Time, traverse the rift, and leap between worlds. Perfecting that idea, however, was a work which consumed their lifetimes, and thus was it left to future generations to decide whether theory would be put into practice. But all the while, the world continued to burn. Hope was a feeble outpost, beset on all sides by thievery and misery and murder. People cried out in despair, "There is no hope! We are finished! Mankind is finished!" Then others raised their voices in answer. Though we be beyond salvation, those who came before may yet be saved. We will forge a crossroads and pave the way for a different future. By the wisdom of our forebears, we will prevent this calamity from ever having come to pass. The fighting went on unabated, but some few took up Sid's research and labored to realize those impossible ideas. After 2 centuries of labor, their descendants finally succeeded in awakening the Crystal Tower, an integral part of the process, and, in doing so, roused its caretaker, me. By this stage, scholars had largely established the phenomena underpinning the rejoining, and identified the first as the shard which precipitated the 8th umbral calamity. This grand structure was already capable of storing the energies required to attempt the translocation. All that remained was to augment some few of its functions based upon the theoretical models of Sid and his compeers.
And by means of such technologies didst thou effect thine arrival in the first, to an age before this star had joined with the Source.
Some while before, as it turned out. 'Tis all but impossible to predict how time will flow between one world and the next, and we missed our mark by almost an entire century. But this only worked in our favor. The Sin Eaters could not be defeated without the blessing of light, and summoning the only woman who might stand a chance against them would require decades of preparation.
An undertaking of scarce credible endurance. That thou hast kept thy plan from falling into disarray these many years bordereth on the miraculous. Yet howsoever history be rewritten, thy present self was shaped by events which followed the calamity. Should said catastrophe be averted, the very skein of thine existence will unravel. Surely thou hast foreseen this.
I am aware of the consequences. 'Tis for that very reason Cid and his colleagues bequeathed their legacy as an offering, and not an edict. To give all of oneself for the happiness of others, and with no promise of reward. 'Tis a hard thing to ask. Harder still for those condemned to survive in a world which pitted brother against brother. Indeed, you are right to call the execution of this plan miraculous, though the force which held it together was nothing so inexplicable. It was her. The warrior of light has been our unbroken thread. Where others would stumble and fall, she would rise above. Where others would break and run, she would carry on. The warrior of light's tale is one of unyielding bravery. To tell it was to feel courage. To hear it was to feel hope. It was a breath of inspiration in an age of suffocating shadow. In the histories of a fallen nation was our hero hailed as its greatest ally. In the time-worn pages of a noble's memoirs were her deeds joyously retold. For many, these stories were the flame which warmed them through the coldest of nights. And so it should come as little surprise that the plan found no shortage of volunteers, concerning as it did the Warrior of Light herself. It was their chance to add their own verse to the hero's saga. She was the lodestar that brought them all together, to send their final message back through time and space to her. The light of your legacy was our torch in the darkness. Burn bright again, and live. I am merely the bearer of that wish, come to ensure it is safely delivered.
Wherefore sharest thou this burden with me and no other? What wouldst thou have me say?
That you will be my accomplice? 'Twas you yourself who convinced me of your suitability when you spoke of how you learned of the Flood and of your part in arranging Minfilia's journey to the First. Your actions showed uncommon resolve. 'Twas clear you were committed to the cause of saving this world. I knew I could trust you to choose the right path forward, even if that choice came with a heavy price.
What price?
When all is said and done, and the last of the Light Wardens lies slain, I will absorb their corrupted ether, and then I will die. Knowing what I know of your companions, not to mention your champion, they will try to stop me. But in saving one, they would save none. Therefore, I implore you to aid me in concealing my identity and ensuring this tale ends as it must. To this end, I would have you take what I have told you of the Calamity and make of it a portent, a prophetic vision you beheld in the swirling chaos of the Rift.
Is this truly thy wish?
History remembered the Warrior of Light, as I knew it would. And I will suffer no other to rescue the champion whose star has charted my course. I will see this tale to a happy end, my friend. There has been enough tragedy.
Careful now. If you lose control again, the light could claim you for good. Although it's probably only a matter of time before you succumb to the change in any case. What do you mean to do?
Head down. Rescue the Exarch. I mean to have a few words with both Emmet and the Exarch. I mean to rescue the Exarch.
We should be on our way. Diassian mentioned the Tempest, did he not? That's the stormy seas around Calusia to you. His lair must be down there somewhere, hidden beneath the waves.
Did you find the answer you sought? If there is nothing more you need, I will go unlock the door. I need some directions. Wish you know the way to the Tempest. You mean the sea itself and not the island of Calusia? Make a request to the Tamers, they might will provide you with an emerald, but... Do you mean to leave right this moment alone? Not sure that. Nay, will not seek to stop you. Go with the blessing of the Shadow, and I shall await you your safe return. You have to go inside of the Tempest, right? Probably not gonna come out of there alive, but we have to try. You require an emerald. Just a moment, I shall saddle our swiftest beast to fly you onto the island. To open water, the depths of the Tempest. Or can swim, yes, but to reach the ocean floor.
Ah, we have found thee. Word reached us of thy recovery, and thus did we gather with all haste. Ah. By thy looks I gather thou hast gleaned that which I came to tell thee.
Urianger has shared everything with us. The Exarch's true identity and purpose.
I offer no excuses. When I agreed to aid the Exarch with his plans, 'twas in full acceptance of the condemnation I would face when my duplicity was laid bare. Yet it is not rancor, but resolve that I sense in thee. Thou art fully intent upon walking thy path to its end, art thou not? If thou canst forgive my deception, or, failing that, set aside thy displeasure for a time, I do beg leave to follow thee. What strength and wisdom I possess are thine to command.
I forgive you, let's go.
I thank thee. Doubt not but that I will do all in my power to repay thy kindness and fulfill the Exarch's wishes.
I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good idea. Leaving the Crystarium, I mean, with or without Urianger. What I did for you won't last forever. There's no telling when the light will break free again. Please, you must stay here, at least for a little while longer. We will find a way to cure this, I promise you.
How can you make promises? We don't even know where to start.
Alisaie, please. You know Reen was only trying to help.
Of course I know! I know only too well! But making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. It's a lie. Plain and simple. We've all searched high and low for an answer, and every one of us came back empty-handed. I am not about to stand in her way now. Not after failing her in her hour of need. No, the least we can do is...
We will go with you as well. There is naught to be gained by standing still.
Indeed, we have exhausted every other avenue. Lead, and we shall follow. If there is any hope to be found, then we will surely find it at your side.
Are we all in agreement then?
Is there aught we can do to help?
Though we may not know the whole story, we do know you're in for a fight. And while the Exarch's away, it falls to the rest of us to see the Warrior of Darkness is given a proper send-off.
You told them!
No! Well, not in so many words.
Aye, we didn't need it spelled out for us. When the night sky appeared over whichever place you went to, it was harder not to put two and two together.
From the moment I heard that you and the Exarch shared the homeland, I had my suspicions. Long had he been waiting for a certain someone to arrive, and I knew at once that it must be you.
Exactly. When he went up to meet you, 'twas clear it was no ordinary visitor. That spring in his step spoke volumes. I could feel his excitement.
We do not fully understand where you or the Exarch hail from, or why you've all done so much to protect us. But we are deeply grateful nonetheless. So, if there is anything at all we might do to aid your journey, you need only name it. What would you have of us?
You might have invited them to join us, where they're not so many. Come, they are waiting. What is your will, O warrior of darkness?
Oh, there you go. There you spawned the last minute. Douglas planned to command and go for their journey in the open sea. I fear when I dive into Emmett's underwater abode would drain even my legendary stamina. Thus, during my diet conference, we considered the most efficient method for reaching the depths. I believe we have arrived at an elegant solution. Alright, what is it? Yet ere we discussed this step, I suggest thou dost... Yet ere we discuss this step, I suggest thou dost conclude such a pressing business as remains to the Aether crystarium once the sea closes above our heads. Oh god, is it me, or how the heck do you read Urenge's? It's hard as hell to read whatever Urenge says. Above our heads, we are unlikely to surface again until our great deed is done. Okay. Sometimes Urenge's lines are hard to read. Urenge is patiently awaiting word that you are ready to depart. Alright, accept. Tine affairs are in order. Then I shall unfold my proposal. Our destination is the ocean floor, yet our goal is not simply to arrive there. Nay, we must needs have the means to breathe and fight freely. Thus would I petition the aid of one of the Fae, a being with whom I have yet to meet to face. Rather than waste words and explaining, I bid thee follow me unto the hamlet of Solon, which lies to the southwest, all while become abundantly clear, I promise thee. Oh, over there? Alright, yeah, we can go there. Urenge, alright. There to the west, canst thou discern the hopper of an isle rising above the water? Foliage-covered mass hideth the key to a safe descent. Swim close and plunge thee beneath the surface. Thou shalt soon divine the reason for mine insistence. Though it may be such to my shame, I can but flare and flounder where thou mayest glide as a fish. I shall brood the boat to the island and spare once and for all the spectacle of my inept strokes. Okay, let's go. Oh wait, what? Investigate a suspect formation erupt out beneath the water. What? Oh wait, can I swim in that water? Oh, okay. Oh, is it over there? Okay, this is a pretty cool area. The source, okay. The Isle of Ken. Interesting island. That's an interesting island. Oh, Urenge is there. Tancred is there. Alphino's down there. Alright. Do I have to, like, go in the water? Oh, yeah. Okay. I did not expect that. Oh, right over here. It appears solid enough the rock is slightly under your touch. Was the surface gently shifting, or was it your imagination? Maybe it's my imagination. It's probably my imagination. I have a wild imagination sometimes. Probably is that, right? As in mirrors, does this look like a face? It looks like a mouth. Eyelids. Wait, eyelids? Interesting. Oh yeah. That's one eye. And then... Huh. Is it alive? That would be interesting. Well, it's not discerned. So that's not an ordinary. It reminds me of a certain primal. Just like the big one, yes. Indeed, time impression is not inaccurate. According to the lore of the Pixies, we are even now perched upon the back of an ancient Fey entity. Its name is Bismarck, aye, the self-same title by which we know the great feathered whale revered by the Vanu. I would enlist its aid to bear us upon the deed, and hence banish the water ish with an airy sphere, like in form to the domes which do shelter the hamlets near the Ruby Sea. Within its compass, we may move unencumbered and defend ourselves when our battle commence, as the most surely shall. Now must needs ask for silence whilst I make my supplication.
Wir Sach, Bilan Bismail. Fallen si lor wislan, ada si alinal.
Van urs atslir, olfod thim, iri guath thi.
Oh dear. I don't need to speak Fey to know that didn't go well.
My snake yak! You've learned to call me at last! And where do you go? On a trip? A journey? I knew you wouldn't give up without a fight. Oh, my precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can. Gers Bismail win picked. Van dromi drom Jacob. Van red rithje.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. It's only good manners.
It will be done, Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
An agreement is reached and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight. May the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Oh, that's a big whale. Oh, wait, isn't that like the whale mount that you can get in the freaking store? That's the whale mount you can buy in the store, isn't it?
And just like that, it's all gone back to the way it was.
What was you expecting? 100 years of honey and rainbows? Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes was miracle enough for me.
Ah, the magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
What the? Do you see that?
What a monster! Where did it even come from?
You should probably get the wave is coming.
Oh yeah! It's not stopping. Run! Run!
Valana Anna Tilden Sidok Iri Halmsi Funne Aktva von Jasni Tagnai.
The breath of Bismarck. See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The Tempest's floor is laid bare. in defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom. The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
The Tempest. So we're like at the bottom of the sea. That's pretty sick. The bottom of the sea. Speak with your NJ, alright. I can do that. Full glamour. That sound that Bismarck was true to his word. We arrive in the Tempest, safe and dry. It is here that we shall find the lair of Emmet Selk, and I believe the imprisoned Exarch as well. For Nation alone, it is of course a trifling matter to flee into the rift, yet I suspect such travel is nigh impossible with a mortal in one's custody. Nay, he would not soon risk his prize when the Exarch's very body serves as the key to the Crystal Tower and its powers of temporal transportation. Thus am I all certain that this underwater realm are both our friend and enemy both. We have but to find them. What's this? Oyster half shell, right? Let's eat some oysters then. Quest complete. Yes, key event. Oyster, what is this? Dark hit vitality plus 8%. Last about 30 minutes. And plus an XP bonus. Nice. I'll probably use that before doing a dungeon or something. Now, as for where we should be go looking, I rather doubt I myself would be sitting around in the open. That would be pretty cool if he was. Propose we follow the slope down towards the deeper trenches and keep an eye out for rock formations large enough to house a stronghold. Let's be off then, but watch for your footing. How big is this region actually? Okay, this region is pretty large. I did not expect this region to be this big. Actually, is there Aether currents in this place? Oh, it's not even listed as a region. Weird. Okay. Wonder Youth. Alright. Okay. Yes. That way. So they look like the Sahajans. They remind me of the Sahajans from the other world. The Finless ones, they followed me. Why have you come? Was it you who took away our water? Oh, so this is where the Undead make their home. I had wondered. Pray forgive us any confusions we have caused. You were not aware your people lived here in the Tempest. We need this great dome of air that we might conduct our most urgent search. Just beg you for your understanding. Chieftain, what are we to do? Are you emissaries of the Ancient Ones? Yes. The mysteries have stirred. We have seen the illuminated land shining through the gloom of the abyss. If you are the emissaries of the Chosen, I bid you welcome. If you're not, I bid you leave. I'm not sure I understand. Would you be willing to elaborate? Would seem I suggest we withdraw for the moment. So what's the plan? Given your condition, I'm reluctant to suggest lingering here. That said, our presently meandering search would proceed far more swiftly if we could call upon the Undo's local knowledge. Yes, I'd like to know more about this illuminated land the chieftain spoke of. Could it be Emmett's stronghold, you suppose? Perhaps he lit the lanterns upon his return. We cannot dismiss the possibility, but if these Undo refuse to speak with us... But do you remember my first scheme for entering the Ilmore? I had planned to integrate myself by offering lucrative trading opportunities with the Undo. Even what I dealt with was reticent in manner and curious in custom, but we were able to reach an agreement nonetheless. I believe that the right approach, we can build a similar relationship here. What kind of approach did you have in mind? The chieftain fellow didn't leave us many options. If we are to tread the swiftest course, then we must needs locate its beginning. This plain, our too dramatic arrival has thrown this element into confusion. Are we to solve such problems? We have cause to assure our host hereby that our purpose here is not inimical to them. May yet prove amenable to reason. I smell chores, but very well, if it can be done quickly. What do you think? I have nothing better to offer. But I do worry, what will happen if the Undo's tales end up leading to us to a dead end? I cannot say for certain, but I sense this tribe has a deeper connection to the Ashes than the first meets the eye. Warrants further investigation, thus I cast my vote in favor of aiding the settlement for the time being. We'll make allies of the Undo, I guess. Then it is settled. Stop per pursuit of your investigation. The rest of us will see about fostering some goodwill. You won't believe who I've just bumped into. This is Fauchon, the very fellow I did business with, prior to our ill-fated stay in Omor. I waited and your kid did not come. Then the Mistral came, but his visits did not continue. I'm sure sorry, Fauchon. Thing did not proceed as planned. Is there aught we can do for you by way of an apology? Perhaps, where the dry return, a cavern to the north is home to giant crabs. We do not fear the crab, for we are swifter swimmers. Now there is no water. We run, they scuttle close behind, snipping and snapping with their claws. There are too many of them, too many. I believe I can be of assistance there. And what of you, Petios? If you've not found a task, you are most welcome to join me. I should appreciate the company. Where the dry return has a rather ominous ring to it. Defeat blue swimmers. So that's north of here, right? Okay. I dodged it. You could crack their shells. You must be stronger than you look. See, you reach your quota first again. I shall never be your equal in your task. So I would say we have reduced a local crab population to far less than threatening numbers. My thanks to both of you. You must have a reward. Nay, Mephajo, this was the part of my apology, do you remember? Besides which, lack of others are doing for which we must also make amends. When I convince you to tell us something about the village instead, I would very much like to learn more of you and your people. Very well, before the flood came, it is said that our ancestral home was found in the seas to the south. It was utterly destroyed by the light. Only those who were out hunting survived. They swarmed, aimless and lost, until they spied buildings here on the ocean floor. Ancient ruins at the bottom of the sea? Interesting. Is this Atlantis? Strange buildings they were. Long had they stood underwater, yet somehow they had been spared the scars. These structures provided shelter for my people and protection from the Tempest turbulent waters and the predators which hunted within them. Their very existence seemed a miracle. The first settlers pondered their good fortune, and it was clear that the race who had built such wonders had guided their course, and from this did they discern the truth. The Ancient had chosen us to serve as caretakers of the Eternal Sanctuary, until such time as they returned. Thus it is judged that you coming in this great vanishing water was by the Ancient's design. You will find a warm welcome here. Truly astonishing history, yet I cannot help but wonder how well the significance or otherwise of our arrival will be decided. The Ancients have blessed us with protection and prosperity. If your presence serves to bring us the same, there will be no doubt in the matter. It would seem our earlier decision was the correct one. We thank you for the lesson, Fauchon. We will continue to do all we can to assist your people. Should you desire our help with any other trouble, pray do not hesitate to ask. We should return to the task at hand, only do try not to overexert yourself. Welcome to the Cups. Long have I wanted to converse with one of your kind. Kalnarish called. May I address you? Mist come, alright. Let's go. What is this? These are relics of your kind, yes? Leavings of a ship that sailed the seas above long ago. They lie as they fell untouched by the Inundo. For most have little interest in the affairs of the fineless. Others do, ever since I was saved by one of yours, after being washed ashore, weary and near death. Such kindness is a rare and wonderful thing, and I would know of none of the people who showed it to me. And so I asked you, can you teach me your ways? These objects, for example, what purpose do they serve? How are they to be used? The nearby debris entreating you to inspect them. Well, this turns. This is to steer ship, and this is for drinking, but it's probably rotting. That was carved from the wood from one of our many trees, yes? What purpose does this perfectly contraption serve? Steer a ship. Not a vessel your kind uses to traverse our water, then without a wheel it is at the mercy of the wind and the currents I see. Technically you can still pull in the rudder, but that's fine. Rotting debris. Among the debris you spy what appears to be a remnants of several shattered bottle of wine. Such fragile containers they were, so I suspect they once contained something of great value. What can you tell me of their purposes? They were used to store toxinating spirits. They were used to makeshift weapons. Are the wine bottles weapons, or are they to drink? Maybe both. You could use it for both, right? You could use a wine bottle as a weapon, or you can drink from it. Drink from it. The liquids which could cloud the mind. I have heard these before. I find this one so delight in dulling their wits. Thank you. In our short time together, you have already taught me so much. Pity that none of these pearls of wisdom will serve my needs. What are you thinking wandering off on your own with this finless one? This is no time for you to fiddle with their leavings. The clutch motor is in terrible distress. No, you don't understand. I brought her here to inspect these. I fear this child has interest. I am Sarge Owen. On behalf of the clutch motor, I come to entreat your assistance. Seems you do not realize that in driving back the water of Tempest, you have placed our beloved clutch motor, leader of the Undo, in mortal peril. She's pregnant. Oh. Then take them into our care and raise them as our own. But absent of the flowing waters, we know not if she will be able to deliver them safely. If not, the future of our people will be in jeopardy. I'm sorry about that. Flood of light claimed many under lives, though we have rebuilt our numbers somewhat decades since. It would be devastating to lose an entire generation, or worse, because of the clutch motor. She wishes to speak with you directly. We might together find a solution to this dilemma. Will you return with me to the cups? Sure. We need to make sure that her, how'd you call that? She's pregnant and she's gonna deliver. We make sure that the delivery happens properly, right? Is that how this works? Everything I have done for her. Good. Is it down here? Beyond the skates resides the clutch motor. Approaching and hearken to her words. Sure. I guess I, Clutch Motor, do bid you welcome to our realm. Well, forgive me for receiving you in this fashion. For the safety and well-being of my children unborn, stir me within away from the dangers without. As you know, under normal circumstances, this place would be filled with blood water, from which I would draw strength and support to bring these eggs into this world. Lastly, I'm but half submerged now, and I fear for my ability to fulfill my sacred duty. And to give them to understand, you and yours, the ones responsible for drawing back the waters. Good reason, I'm sure, however, it is my sincere hope that you will agree to aid us, given that you are responsible for this state of affairs. Fear not, I desire not to direct assistance, rather I would beg a boon of your people's knowledge, shelter, and how the finless ones ease the burdens of their struggling mothers. We just scream and say push, push, right? Is that how we do? We just scream and say push, push. No agent didn't matter. Heed his words and answer his question. This is all I ask. Do you consent? Sure. Oh boy. I thank you, honored guest. Go well. It is agreed. However, I must consult with her attendants before we speak further. But I bid you to nourish Cole. Go about her business, but be ready if called upon. Okay. Right. Have you a moment to converse in private outside the cups, please? Okay. This returning need to be granted an audience with the Klashmother. I hope to serve to help you understand how important these eggs are to us. Before you came to the cups, I had been searching for a means to assist her giving birth. Oh, that makes sense. I trust you enough how important she is to us. Order to all of the Ondo, and her every egg, brother and sister. We'll do anything and everything to welcome them to this world. See them grow in healthy, happy Ondo. There must be some way in which you can help us to achieve this end. Maybe. This is probably a, yeah, this looks like a side quest. Interesting. Yeah, well, we got the Aether crit. Hope everything goes well. She appears to be deep in thought. Have you learned of the note? Some stuff. Fascinating and process the sort of information I was hoping to hear. I know, stuff is pretty important. In fact, if you have a moment, I'd like to borrow your eyes to confirm a theory. My eyes? Wait, what? Oh, I thought she was gonna take out my eyes. Never mind then. Now, there are two tasks I would have you perform. First requires you inspect buildings which surround the Ondo settlement and note their most distinctive characteristics. Second, I wish you to use this knife to take scrappings from one of the remnant walls. Hurry, be as thorough as you can. I shall be waiting here for the result of your investigation. Okay. This thing here. What? Inspect the building, find features, okay. What am I supposed to be looking at? Inspect the structure which comprises the undercuts and I find you there. Well, there's the windows. Is that good? No. Okay, larva. Window. Show me elaborate windows, like which you have nowhere else. I've never seen windows like that, that's right. Use Mitchell knife to collect strength from the remnant wall. Alright. At the point the knife against the wall, but even after applying considerable pressure, you cannot remove so much as a flake of stone. And what have you discovered? Yes, I would agree that the windows are most distinctive. It would seem the structures appear the same to both your sight and mine. And you say you could not so much as scratch the wall, even with all your might behind the blade? Whenever I turn this place, my gaze is drawn by particular materials for which I do not have a name. The buildings I had you to investigate are prime examples. They appear to be constructed of ordinary stone, but I assure you, it is nothing of the sort. If pressed, I would describe the substance as composite of several mineral properties, blended to create a material of unparalleled durability. Even the Roncan Empire, once greatest power in Nordved, produced nothing which compares to this level of perfection. If not Roncans, then who? Who were these ancients of the Undo claim as the architects of their sanctuary? I suspect your answer lies with the reason Emmet Suck with you here to Tempest. You may simply have wished to retreat somewhere mere mortals would struggle to reach. But there are many such remote locations. Why here specifically? Misak is devoted to his role, and thus we might assume his choice of stronghold somehow serves the Ashen agenda. Maybe it's his... well, okay. Remember, the Ashen's homeworld was split into, what, 14 shards, right? 13 shards in the source. So it could be where he grew up, right? He probably grew up in that ancient ruin. Right? Could be that. This place more dear to him than either. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Maybe it's where he grew up. Is the ancient ruins where he grew up? Now they're at the bottom of the sea. Are you saying this was built by ancient Ashians? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Ancient. It's built by the Ashians. There's my theory that these structures are a remnant of a time before history, of a star that was yet whole and unbroken. Such traces in the source would have been obliterated by the succession of the umbral calamities, but here in the first they might have remained untouched for millennia. A copy of the mural in the Kitana Revel. Helmet presented it to me during my visit to Fano, after our victory in Colossia. Here in the first scene, by M.L. Salam's own word, depicts a city of eons past and the disaster which befell it. The design is much simplified, of course, but do you see the similarities between this tower and those you have just inspected? Yeah, they look very similar. We are close to the truth. I feel let us search the surrounds for another tower, one which matches the picture near enough to remove all doubt. When I have seen not more than sand lies to the east. Let me view the Kitana Revel mural anytime I want. Yeah. Northwest, huh? How far northwest are we talking about though? These are just like one tower here. Okay, let's go on with these. This must be their mural writ large. What can I guess at this purpose? It must have been an imposing sight. How much of the tower's height lies hidden beneath the ground, I wonder. Centuries of our history have settled upon such ruins, countless layers of dust and sediment. The entire civilization, its existence forgotten by all except a handful of ashes. And yet, it did exist. They lived here in this city. Let us focus on what we've learned thus far. The Undo chieftain spoke of mysteries stirring of a land eliminated. Judging by his words, if he believes this phenomenon is related to the ancients' return, just can we surmise that what the Undo saw shining in the abyss was in likelihood not a remnant of this age-old civilization? Who else would delight the lanterns, as Rin put it, than Emmet Suck himself? It's almost certain he is here. If we are to find a stronghold in time and matter, it seems gaining the Undo's trust remains our swiftest path forward. I only hope our deeds are enough to win them over. It just seems easier to share the discoveries with the others. Thank you for assisting me with the investigation. I will speak with our companions and share what we learned. Much as I would like to tell you to sit down and leave the rest to us, your condition demands that we make all reasonable haste. If you're too wary, it may be useful to speak with push on again and ask if there is aught else he's willing to divulge. Howdy, Optimus friend. You and your companions have done much to repair damage caused when the waters parted. Anything else? Have you been to the walls of the Forgotten? I think I've just come from there. Remnants of the Northwest, yes? You visited them on Biden. Could be that your footsteps were guided by the ancients. I believe it may be so. Listen then, and we'll tell you our plans to bring light to the walls. Then we might answer the shining call of the eliminated land. We requested a fine craftsman to shape us a sacred lamp. He is odd for a landlorder, choosing as he does to live in the ocean, but his skill is beyond question. It is concerning, however, that we have heard nothing of his progress. If we would visit the artisan and return with our long-awaited light, then any doubt as he proposes would be laid to rest. His name is Grenadalt. You'll find him in his workshop in the middle structure to the south. Okay.